All right, here's the cheat code for healing your emotional trauma and also how you know that you've healed your emotional trauma. And I say that like it's one thing, but it's infinite. The amount of unhealed emotions within your body is infinite, and it will always be infinite, but you learn how to chip away at it, little by little. You go in, you get the most important things, the pivotal moments in your life that are subconsciously ruining everything for you. And you start with those first, and new ones will happen as you live and grow. And you ideally will have the tools to address them, as they happen. So the way that you heal emotional trauma is actually something that comes from some research about implanting false memories that the DoD the Department of Defense is very interested in. And this is under the umbrella of neurobiology and or maybe psychoneurobiology would be a better way to say it. And the reason why the DoD is interested in this, the Special Forces, and some other agencies that we won't name, is that when you can control a person's memories, you can control a person's behaviors. There's a really fun neurobiology researcher, Charles Morgan, who consults for the U.S. Special Forces, and he has one of my favorite quotes of all time, and it is that humans are a case-based reasoning animal. Whenever we get ready to do something, we think about all of the times we've done that before and how that panned out. And that's essentially how your memories, aka your emotional trauma, controls your behavior. So that's why they're interested in it. Number one, mind control equals behavior control, and the easiest way to do this is to give you an adverse memory about an event, and then you will avoid that event. That's what they do in this research. You can look up studies that have been sort of nicknamed, and they'll be pretty easy to find, like Lost in a Mall, where they implanted a false memory of participants being lost in a mall as a child. And it was incredibly easy to implant a false memory. They found that all it took was the power of suggestion, and they also had an older sibling of the participants, each participant, corroborate the story. But it was so effective just to suggest, oh, hey, your brother so-and-so told us about that time you got lost in a mall when you were like 7. That's all it took. It was so easy to suggest that they had been lost in a mall and to tie it to, somebody else, kind of like triangulation. Tie it to somebody else that they knew and trust. Say, oh, so-and-so told us this. It was so easy and so effective that at the end of the study, they told the participants, it was just a study, we lied. And the participants argued with them and said, no, I remember the color of the person's hair who found me. I really was lost in a mall. Like, I get that this was your study, but no, this really did happen to me. Okay? So you see where I'm going with this? This is how you know you've healed your emotional trauma, and this is how you heal your emotional trauma. You take these memories that have these discordant emotions tied to them, these memories that are subconsciously controlling your behavior and preventing you from taking actions that are congruent with your goals, what you say your goals are. So how you know you've healed your emotional trauma is you actually start achieving your goals. So there's a couple of different ways you can do this. You can implant these false memories. But the research tells us some really key information about, how you're going to be able to do this. Number one, you can't do it on yourself. because you can't know that that's what is happening. I have a workaround, and it involves a sort of sister field of study, optogenetics. Still used by the DoD and different agencies, related to the DoD for behavior control, aka mind control. But you do it to yourself. You mind control yourself. The key to this is that you can't know you're doing it to yourself. So you have to do it when you're in a state of your subconscious being unlocked. So we do that through optogenetics, and you can actually find memories within your visual field. Your memories are stored in your DNA in the form of light. Your DNA is the wet hard drive. It's the storage facility of the memories. But you call those memories back up through the RAM, your brain. Your brain is the RAM. And your eyes are a part of the brain. So there's so much research on this. It's so fascinating. You can actually, once you have unlocked the subconscious, you can find the exact place in your visual field where a memory is located. For example, audio memories, memories of things that somebody has said to you that was impactful, are in the upper left part of your visual field. And you'll notice when people go to recall information, they'll look in these areas. If they're trying to recall something somebody said, they're going to look in the upper left. Yeah. So they've mapped out a big part of the visual field, and there's so much more to this. So the visual field loses ground, basically. It loses area around the outer edges due to emotional trauma, and those outer edges are tied to the CEO of your brain, your prefrontal cortex. And when you lose trauma, you literally, or when you have trauma and you lose these parts of your visual field, you literally and figuratively gain blind spots. Your ability to reason, your ability to see the solution is in a blind spot that's caused by your trauma. So you know that you're healing your trauma when you're able to have breakthroughs, when you're able to see into your blind spots, when you're able to solve problems, when you're taking actions that are congruent with your goals, aka no self-sabotage. That's how you know you're healing your trauma. So the only way to do this on yourself, to implant these false memories on yourself, is to unlock the subconscious, access the memory through the eyes. Oftentimes it's memories we've forgotten or we don't think are important. And then you rewrite the story with yourself as the hero. Now, in between all this, you have to actually re-experience the memory. You have to have a high amplitude response. You have to be emotional, feel that discordant emotion, the fear, the resentment, the anger, whatever it was. You have to feel it and then pair it with the better story, the false memory. So it's tricky. You have to learn a process to do this on yourself. It's the process I teach, Mirror Magic. It's research-based. It's rooted in optogenetic and psychoneurobiology research. It is literally how to mind control yourself, and it is the process of healing your trauma, which is the process of implanting false memories in place of your traumatic ones. You don't forget the traumatic ones, you just rewrite them to something not traumatic. Now, if you want to do this with a practitioner,